Hello, what's up? Good day. Thank y'all for coming back. I am so glad, as always, that you're here with me. My name is Colton. This is Mile 17, the podcast, and let's get started. Today, we are going to dive into choices because every single day we are all faced with choices all the time. You walk out the door, you are faced with the choice of locking it, going left, going right, and literally every single choice you make dictates how your day goes. One choice goes into the next, into the next, into the next, and everything that you choose changes the entire pathway of your life, of your day, of your hour. And so I think, honestly, I just think it's crazy. It's hard to even wrap your mind around how many different variations of this life of every day that you can live. And I think a lot of us I know I've been here where I get to a point in my life and I'm like, oh my God, like, how did I get to this point where I'm feeling like this every day? Or how did I get into this habit that started off making me feel good and now I feel like shit every day because I'm choosing to do this? And it's so hard to break those things. It's like these choices we make turn into habits, and whether that's good or bad, it's hard to break or hard to change because you're so used to doing what you're doing. We are creatures of habit. And so I just kind of wanted to discuss this and to maybe give you this information through a different lens to make you kind of think about your own choices and your own habits and the things that make up who you are in your life. And we always have room for improvement. So I hope that you take this information and however you interpret it, you can kind of start making these conscious decisions in your own life to change the things that you feel like you need to. And you're the only one who knows. Your mom doesn't know, your dad doesn't know, your sister, your brother, your best friend, your boss. Nobody really knows what you need in order to live a full and authentic life for yourself. So, for example, about choices, I worked a 3-day stretch last week and I had bought concert tickets to two different concerts. They were back-to-back nights. And originally, I thought I was going to be able to swing it. I was going to be able to go, no big deal. They weren't really that expensive tickets. These are kind of more up-and-coming artists. And things had changed. I ended up going home to Arizona. And so when I came back, like I had no wiggle room in my schedule to kind of change things around. And, the concert started around 7. I got off at 8. So I could have caught the end of them at least. But I remember getting off. I worked, it was Saturday and Sunday. I had a concert each of those nights. I'm sorry. No, it was Friday and Saturday. I got off Friday and I was like, okay, I'll type in the address. It's like 15 minutes from here. I'll just go catch the end of it and then go home. But then I thought, oh, my dog needs to be let out. I would really like to like wind down, get a good night's sleep so I feel good tomorrow. So I ended up missing the concert. And as much as I love the artist and I really wanted to go, I think that was the best decision for me because if I had gone to the concert, I would have woke up the next day because I had gone to bed late, been rushed, probably got shitty sleep, and I would have felt terrible. And I would have had to work a full 12-hour shift at the hospital feeling like crap. And for any of you who work in the hospital or have worked those longest shifts, like it's miserable to be hungover, to be tired, to be sleep deprived. It's not okay. It's not fun. Nobody wants to go through 12 and a half hours feeling like absolute dog shit. So fast forward to Saturday night, again, had another concert and I was going to be off Sunday. So I was like, oh, I'll just go. This will be fun. Again, got off and I was like, oh, like I'm just tired. My partner had just gotten home from work. I wanted to see him. And I just made the conscious decision to be like, you know what? Again, as much as I love live music, I think concerts are amazing. I think you should go see the people that you love. But I was like, this is just not the best choice for me at this time. So I went home, got the good sleep, felt amazing the next day. And although this might seem like very silly examples, this is just something that recently came up for me that's fresh in my mind that I thought, yeah, that's a choice. That's how you develop habits and develop, you know, the old me probably would have just sacrificed my sleep, sacrificed the way that I feel to go have this, hour of like amazing feeling with live music as it always is. But I made the choice to go home, and I can assure you that the days following, I felt so much better because I wasn't getting behind on sleep. I didn't have a drink of alcohol. And overall, my overall well being was just so much better from those choices that I made. So, again, I know it's kind of silly. It seems kind of like, why? Like, really, Colton? Like, you're talking about going to a concert after work. But that's what I'm talking about. Those daily choices that you're faced with. Like, I could have gone and had fun, made those memories, took the video of my favorite artists, but I chose not to. Yes, the money was kind of wasted, but again, things came up. I, things shifted. I had to get home to Arizona at a different time than I originally had thought. So, and those were my choices. And looking back, I'm very thankful that I chose my health and my well-being. And because when I make these, you make these choices. Say I had gone to the concert and I had not gotten enough sleep, maybe had a couple drinks. My anxiety would have kicked up when I'm at work and I'm exhausted and I'm grouchy. I'm in a bad mood. Maybe that leads into me not providing the best care for my patients or being short with my partner because I'm in a terrible mood or, just those kinds of things. And so that's what I'm trying to get to is you have choices. Okay. I digress from the concert decisions and let's sit and chat about kind of the process of choices. Oh, here's my doodle. Hello, Kona. Can you say hi? Yep, yep. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let's start with step one. So, most nights when you go to, I am a total advocate for bedtime routines. I'm not saying that I always have the best. I'm not always consistent, but when I do, I feel amazing. And, I noticed this when I used to get home from work, always had a drink or two, three, depending on the day that I had. And I did that for the longest time. And then, it kind of broke the habit. And yeah, when I moved to Rhode Island, I was working 3 to 3, so I wouldn't get off till 4 a.m., get home till 4 a.m., and I would shower, go straight to bed. I didn't really have, no one was awake. I'm like, I'm not having a drink. I'm dead exhausted. So I broke that habit, and it was amazing. It is so amazing how much different I feel and how much I didn't realize that having the two drinks, was making me feel the next day until I had stopped doing it. And then I was like, holy shit! Like I don't feel good doing this. This can go for, if you don't drink alcohol, this can go for watching that extra episode of Netflix or Hulu. This can go with, staying up an extra hour scrolling on your phone, which, also a whole other topic leads to worse sleep. And, that leads into tomorrow to where now you're sleep deprived and you slept in an extra 30 minutes because you went to bed later and therefore you missed your morning exercise. You didn't go for that walk. You didn't have time to make a healthy breakfast, so you had to grab McDonald's on the road. And now you have lower energy and you're grouchy. You feel like shit. It takes all you have just to get through the day. And, this all goes back to that decision to stay up a little bit later to scroll, to watch the extra episode, to have two extra drinks, to have one drink at night. And I'm not saying that you're a bad person if you do any of this. We all of our bodies react differently and we all can tolerate different things. I have friends and family who they can manage that and they're fine. They can have the extra whatever at night and they can manage the next day just fine. Me, that doesn't work for me. And I've noticed that if I really prioritize that nighttime routine and I make the conscious decision, because of course, when I get home from work, like I want a shot of whiskey or I want a glass of wine. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I sometimes still do. But when I don't and I make that choice to just unwind, stay off of my phone, just like be present with if my partner's home or if, just pet my dogs, read a book, and just, be in my own body versus scrolling and like totally escaping my mind, I I feel so much better. And that's what I'm trying to get through to you is, you know, you have those choices to You have the options to make those choices and to feel better in your daily life and to not be stuck in this vicious cycle that we all get ourselves into because we're all guilty of it. And if you say you're not, like, I don't believe you. We've all been there. And yeah, you may be at a point now to where you're like, yeah, I'm kicking ass, I'm doing great. Like I have this whole routine down and yada yada. I mean, that's amazing. That's great. But I know there's a lot of us that don't. Like we are so much creatures of habit and we'd like to just like feel that little escape and like it feels so good to come home and to just lose yourself in a show or lose yourself in a couple drinks and totally forget about work and life and whatnot. And that's the awareness I'm trying to get myself to, is to not need a life that I need not to not have a life that I need to escape from. And I get it. Like, yes, like work is stressful. We all have, like, there's always going to be stress. It's impossible to eliminate. But to the best of my ability, that as much as I can control, I don't want to feel like I need to come home at night and decompress from my life. And I think that's a really important like thing to be aware of within yourself. You may not care. I mean, you may be like, dude, I'm going home. I'm having a couple drinks. I'm gonna watch that episode and I need that escape and I don't care what you say. And that's great. That's on you. It's amazing. I'm so happy for you. I truly am. It just doesn't work for me. What I'm ultimately trying to get at is how important it is to be accountable for your life and realize that where you are today is a sum of all the choices that you have made. And yes, there are things that are out of our control, and there's things that no matter what you do are going to happen, regardless of what choice you make. That's just the way of the universe. That's the way of the world. It's just out of your control. But for the things that you can control, you have to realize that it's all on the choices that you're making. And we all are, trying to prioritize different things, whether that's our health or our career or our finances or our relationships. You know, take accountability for where you're at in your life. And if you're able to stop placing blame on your life circumstances and the things that have happened to you up to this point and just take the accountability and be like, yes, I have made these choices. Where I am today is ultimately mostly 95% the choices that I have made. Yes, you can't help your genetics. You can't help the thing that happened to you 10 years ago. You can't change those things. And if you can just face that and just realize that you have the power to truthfully change your life and to start taking little steps each and every day, you will shock yourself. You'll shock yourself. And the New Year's coming up. I'm not huge on New Year's resolutions because I really think that people just get super excited about it and then they fall off. I think you should start before the new year and start, pick a focus point like that you want in the 365 days on whatever today is that you're listening to this next year. Like, how can you track the progress and be like, okay, I'm consciously going to change my health. I am consciously going to change what I'm doing as a career or how my relationships are with my family or where I live or the things that I buy or the habits that I have or, I'm smoking too much this, I'm drinking too much that. You have the choice. It is so vitally important for the overall trajectory of your life for you to grab on to those choices and to know that you have control. And honestly, it's very empowering once you realize that. Like you're like, wow, like I do have the choice on what I focus on. I do have the choice of what I put into my body. I do have the choice of where I'm going and what time I'm going to go to sleep and what I'm going to do first thing in the morning. I don't want to wake up and first thing look at my phone and start scrolling. Like I don't want to be a prisoner to all these things, that we have today. Like there's so many things, the first thing people do in the morning is grab their phone and start looking at it. And I'm so guilty of that. Like I have done that for most of my life. I had my first cell phone when I was, gosh, 8, I think. It was the like little Nokia one. You pretty much use it to call my parents and to play Snake. But ultimately, like that's what I was doing. I grab my phone and start scrolling, start texting, and you know, And I'm consciously, so consciously waking up in the morning and not touching my phone. Whether that be, some days it's like I have 10 minutes and it's like, okay, like I need to do something. But like I'm really, really, really trying to like, you know, set it aside, wake up, ground myself, have some breakfast, get a cup of coffee, take my dog out, just do these things in the morning before I even touch the phone. Because I listened to this on, again, another shout out to one of the people that I absolutely love and adore listening to is Mel Robbins. On her podcast, she had said, you know, you have that first time in the morning is like really, really the only time you have to yourself, because the second you grab the phone and the second you step out the door to go to work, you are now giving your time to everybody else. Like that first thing in the morning when it's just you, it's like so vitally important. And if you have kids, again, I don't have kids, so I'm not giving you parenting advice at all. But if you have kids, to the best of your capabilities, wake up half hour before they do normally. Or, just find that time in the morning that's yours, that you can hold on to and that you can start consciously making those decisions that are going to better your life, because you can do it and nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's ever going to come and save you. It's got to be you, and it's got to start here. Okay. I think you all get what I'm putting down. I'm obviously very passionate about this because I see this every day. I think in my line of work, again, working in the emergency department, every day, I see people coming in and it's like for the most part, not everybody. Some people just luck of the draw have some really just unfortunate circumstances with their health and out of their control. But so many of these people come in and, they have a whole list of medical conditions that could have been prevented had they made better choices in their life. And that's like the society we live in. Is it's so normal, for people to come in and to have, so many issues that really they've created. And it's a very touchy subject. It really is, because that's their health, that's their livelihood. And, you know, I'm there to help them and not judge them. And that's what I do. But it's so hard to, sometimes to where you're like, come on, man, like you got to realize like that you did this to yourself. Like you can't move because you chose to eat terribly for 30 years or not move your body. And, it's no wonder that you're in this position. And oh gosh, like I can't stress it enough. Start now. Don't wait. Don't wait till the holidays are over. Don't wait. Start now and start making choices and building habits that are going to create the strongest and best life for you, not for your sister, not for your friend, not for your brother. Don't look at their life because that's their life. This is for you. So that's what I got for you today. I know that I got a little passionate, went down a little rabbit hole, went off on a tangent there, but I I think that people really, really underestimate how different their life could be with tweaking these daily choices and habits. So thank you, as always, for sticking around. If you're still with me here, I always like to end this with just letting you know to please like, follow, subscribe the podcast, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. It helps. It gives me feedback, and I love and appreciate it. And, share this episode on your social media, put it on your story, have your friends listen if this helped you. And yeah, we'll see you back. Thank you so much. Again, this is Colton, and this is the Mile 17 podcast. Peace out.